Houseguest. Welcome to today's BB11 updates and spoilers. Our houseguest of the day is Angelo P. And just a little note, if you want to be houseguest of the day, either send your request to us at madrosed@gmail.com or send us a private message on YouTube, because when you leave it in the comments, it's too hard to keep track of, so just don't do that. Alright. So all of the paranoia and lies that have been going around the house have finally made the shiz hit the fan. Natalie and Jesse lied to Russell that Michelle was plotting to keep Ronnie specifically in the green room with them, and this never happened. But after hearing this, Russell doesn't know who to trust, and he even told Jesse about Michelle's PhD, which was exchanged during their secret exchanging, because they're in an alliance now, and you don't break that code, so that's effed up. So Russell was fighting Shima, and then Shima called up Michelle because apparently some things were being spread that were not true. And there was some very loud yelling. I would go as far as saying it was screaming, definitely. And this was only part one of the fight. Next up was Ronnie and Kevin. I think Kevin's just had enough of Ronnie, and there was, again, a lot of yelling. This was a crazy night, and I guess Kevin couldn't take it anymore, and he, like, chest-butted Ronnie or something, and Ronnie's like, "That's considered physical harm, you should be out of this house." Shut up, Ronnie. So then Kevin said that Ronnie said that Hitler was a good person. And then Ronnie's like, "I never said that!" And he was crying like a baby. And he's like, "I said Hitler was a good speaker." So he seriously was crying like a baby about it. And then Big Brother told them, "You better stay 3 feet apart." And you know it's serious when Big Brother tells them to stay 3 feet apart. Blah, blah, blah. So it was time for part 2 for Russell and Shima. And this time it got really personal. I don't know if Shima actually said this in front of Russell, but she did call him an effing terrorist. And, you know, I heard that she told Russell that she didn't actually think that Brayden was a racist. She just said that because she was taking advantage of the opportunity. You could have just ruined his life just so that you could take advantage of the opportunity. That's really messed up. And it kind of seems like you may be racist after what you just said. So yeah, typical journalist, mudslinger attitude going on. So things, like I said, got really personal. They were talking about some things that you might want to keep behind closed doors, a little dirty. They were talking about, well, Shima was picking on Russell's ears that are like weird because he was a wrestler, and he was talking about her mouth and her lips because they're huge. And then Shima threw water in Russell's face, and this was after asking Big Brother if it was okay, and they were like, "We strongly discourage it, but it's not against the rules." So yeah, she did it. And then, back to Ronnie and Kevin. This is never ending. They got personal too, talking about each other's families and stuff, and Ronnie was still crying and acting like a baby. And during all of this, it's kind of weird that Jesse remained hidden the whole time. He didn't come to the defense of anyone, he just stayed out of it, which kind of makes it obvious that he's the one who started the whole thing, which is true. It was Jesse and Natalie who started spreading the lie about Michelle. And I'm not really sure where everyone stands now. It's definitely quieter this morning than it was last night. And Shima made it known that the whole night of fighting should be pinned on Russell and Michelle. So now it's kind of like 2 weeks ago when everyone was hating on Ronnie, but maybe like half the house. I can't even tell who's with who anymore. It's so crazy. I need to see where everything settles because it's insane. So hopefully we'll know by tomorrow, spoiler. Until then, much love.